Hey folks, welcome back to SC Haulers. I'm Sax Hawaiian. Star Citizen 421 lands today, and while it doesn't bring any major new mechanics or even a new cargo ship, it does kick off the Second Life resource drive. Stanton's corporations are scrambling for supplies to keep the region crisis from spiraling out of control, and it's up to us, primarily the haulers, somewhat the miners, and everybody else. It's a community effort. It's all on the table. So let's break it down and see how you can make the most of this system-wide push. Even if we're still waiting on CIG to give us another real hauler. Like, why would you release the Meteor for a cargo hauling event? Okay, so first thing we're going to get into is the missions themselves. So when you look at your contracts, you will see these 4 different areas: Resource Drive, Microtech, Crusader, ArcCorp, Hurston. And you will have an initial quest that you need to complete, or a contract you need to complete. It's going to be 3 SCU, you go pick it up, and then you drop it off at the space station or the major city for that planet. Once you do that initial mission, you will unlock the next 10 missions. These are repeatable. Like, it's not just a one-time thing. There are some missions that have a timer, like the large cargo hauling mission has an 8-minute timer between completions. Or it's like after you complete the large cargo hauling, you have 8 minutes until it shows back up. And then you have the small and medium cargo hauling missions, and those have no cooldown timers. So as soon as you're done with those, you can go and redo those again. And you'll find similar things for different missions. There are also space combat missions, FPS missions, and there's also a mining mission, but it's really a turn in whatever cargo you have mission. And there's some, how do I explain this? There are some rules with this. So it's an open-ended contract, right? What that means is you start at 0 resources, and as you turn more in, that number goes up. And as you turn more resources in, you get paid more, and then your SCU count for the resource drive goes higher, so on and so forth. That being said, if you have contracted cargo that you are turning in, it will count towards the resource drive, but you will not get paid. I've also tried stolen cargo. Like, I failed a mission, and then I took the cargo that was there anyways, and it did not pay me. So it seems like stolen cargo in general will not get you paid. You'd have to go sell it somewhere else, and I haven't tested that. I don't even know if you can, but it looks like if you want to get money out of this, you're going to have to do it legitimately. No piracy, no stolen goods, whatever. But if you're just in it for the resource drive, then that's perfectly fine. Steal cargo, turn it in, and you'll get your money. Again, I haven't fully tested this in regards to like pirated goods. I've done it a couple of times, and I know for sure contracted cargo will not get you paid. So we're going to take a look at this one sheet guide from Mr. Kraken. He is such a valuable piece of this community. He always comes up with these awesome one-page guides for us. But you can see down here at the bottom, we have our rewards, your total SCU. So your total contribution could be 2826. From my understanding from the video that they released today, you can have that number go up higher. I thought the cap was 2826. But your total cap that you can contribute to a particular company can go higher than that 2826. But your max rewards come at 2826. So if you're doing the large cargo hauling missions solo, you will need to do 16 of those large cargo hauling missions in order to get maxed out. Like I said previously, there is an 8-minute cooldown timer on the large cargo hauling mission. And so you can complete one. It'll take you quite a few hours to get through 16 of these missions if you're doing it solo. But you can see at your the first tick mark is 85 SCU, and you get the Falston jumpsuit and the multi-tool. 311, you get the Strata armor and the Volt pulse pistol. 777, you get an Aurora C1 and Zeus paint. Volt Prism Shotgun as well. 1582, you get the Raft Freelancer Constellation paints and a Volt Quartz SMG. And then at 2826, you get the Starlancer, Caterpillar, and Hercules paints, as well as the Volt Parallax Rifle. If you're looking to do this as efficiently as possible, first thing I'm going to recommend is if you're not an industry person and you'd rather do like combat stuff, or just not moving a lot of cargo around, I would recommend go take a look at Captain Foxy Loxy's channel, and I'll have a link down in the description below to the particular video. But he was taking his Idris and he recommended capital ship in general. You might even be able to redo it with a reclaimer in the next patch, because we'll get into it, but there are some changes to that. And basically you just run up to a ship in your capital ship and snatch up the cargo from the dead ship and then be on your merry way. If you are an industry person and you do like cargo hauling, what I plan on doing is working on one system first, right? But I'm going to complete all 4 starter missions and then go and accept all 4 large cargo hauling contracts. There's only one large cargo hauling contract available for each system, so you just accept all 4 of those. You go pick up all the cargo, and it's going to take a little bit. There's quite a bit of traveling involved in this, but you're just going to pick up all the cargo, abandon the missions, accept the system that you're working in. If you want the AUEC, you can abandon all 4 if you want, but you deliver all the cargo, you accept that mining mission, and then deliver all the cargo at once, and then bam, you have 720 SCU of cargo ready to go. Now, I was doing this in this footage that you're seeing now, that this is the time trial that I was going through, and it took me about an hour and a half to 2 hours ish. I didn't do an official timer like I normally do, which I should have, but it took about an hour and a half, 2 hours to complete that entire run. And I was using an Atlas to load my C2, and it gave me 720 SCU of cargo. If you are going to go that route, it will take you, if you are experienced hauler, you could do this in 4 hours and complete an entire system in 4 hours. More realistically, it's probably going to take you about 6+ hours if you go that route. And I would go more towards the 10-hour mark, just because you're going to have bugs in the game. Freight elevators aren't going to work. You're going to have to server hop. You're going to have pirates that are messing with you. Like, there's so many variables. Most of them are game related. So moving on to ship updates. Now, I'm not going to go over everything. There's a lot more ships that have been updated in regards to their maneuverability. There's the combat ships specifically have had a lot of changes to their yaw, pitch, rolls, stuff like that. But I wanted to go over the changes that they did for the speed and boost and stuff for a lot of the cargo ships. And so we're going to start with the MSR. The MSR got huge buffs all around, and some of them are super tiny, some of them are big. So like the SDM speed only got an increase of 2. The forward boost got an increase of 100. Backward boost got an increase of 13. The max speed got an increase of 100. Its quantum fuel tank also got increased by 6. Math is hard. The Corsair got nerfed overall, and they are smaller changes, but its max speed did get buffed. So it went from 1000 to 1025. The Freelancer, it only got a buff to its max speed, so it went from 1010 to 1050. The Freelancer Max, its SCM speed got a buff, its forward boost got a buff, its max speed also got a buff. And those are very, very small. The forward boost got a 100 increase, so that was nice. The Constellation series, and I know a bunch of you are going to hate this, I personally love it, but the Connies overall got nerfed. And I think the Taurus is probably the biggest victim to these nerfs. So the SDM speed went from 200 to 180. The forward boost went from 400 to 380. The backward boost went from 205 to 191. The max speed went from 1000 to 950. And if we look at the Andromeda's max speed stayed the same. The max speed of the Aquila went from 1000 to 1075. The max speed of the Phoenix went from 1000 to 995. And I do love my Phoenix. So the Taurus, the hauling ship of the series, got quite a few nerfs. Some of them super small, some of them big, because that extra 52 max speed, I mean, it could do a lot for you, but I mean, in a ship like the Taurus, it's not really going to do a whole lot anyways. So moving on to the Reclaimer, and the Reclaimer in 4.2 and all the salvage ships in 4.2 got buffs. And it was a silent patch that they released to us. What they did was increase the efficiency, speed, and diameter of all the ships. Or, excuse me, no. They reduced the efficiency of all the ships, but they increase the diameter and speed of all the ships. And that's where the Reclaimer comes into play, because you could throw some abrades or even trawlers onto the Reclaimer, and it would, like, you could go through a Polaris or an Idris in a matter of like 15 minutes with trawlers. That's how big of a diameter that the trawler had during 4.2. Now in 4.2.1, they are not changing the diameter or speed, but they are changing the efficiency. So the efficiency rating was at 0.85 and is being decreased down to 0.55. And so you're still going to have a huge diameter, but it is going to be a little bit slower than what it was in regards to how much RMC you're getting when you're scraping hulls. But the real big thing with the Reclaimer, and I'm sorry I can't show you footage. I don't own a Reclaimer I don't have one pledged. So maybe in the future. But that being said, one exciting change about the Reclaimer is that it is getting PDCs. And I'm going to reference Foxy Loxy again. He went over the PDCs on the Reclaimer in one of his videos a couple days ago. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't remember. I remember watching it, and it looks like there's 7 PDCs overall. So there's going to be 3 on top and 4 on bottom, or maybe it's the other way around. But that is going to give the Reclaimer a huge advantage when it comes to actually scraping hulls and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing that. That is a huge change to the Reclaimer, and I love to see it. Technically, it is a capital ship, so it should have PDCs on it. Now, with the Reclaimer efficiency being nerfed, the Vulture and the Fortune are actually getting efficiency buffs. And so they nerfed the Reclaimer, and they are increasing the efficiency of the Vulture and the Fortune. And I am super excited to get tested in those. I've purely been doing these cargo hauling missions in PTU, so I really need to go test out the Vulture changes because I want to see them. One thing I was also waiting for, and you'll probably see this in the next few days, is there was one. This section is going to go over quality of life changes, but there is one particular quality of life change that I wanted to check out, which is, and I quote, network stall and stowing optimizations reduce cargo transfer delays. And if I'm reading that correctly, that means with cargo transfer delays, my mind immediately went to the Hull C. So if anybody's not doing the resource drive and they have tested the Hull C in the PTU, again, I don't have a Hull C pledged, so I wasn't able to test it. It costs more than what they give you in the PTU. Let me know how it works. Let me know if it's more stable and reliable, because I would love to be in the Hull C more. Other than that, quality of life changes. They've done a lot to fix the freight elevators, and there's still some issues with them, but overall they should be working a lot better. I've noticed that personally in the PTU, is that they work a lot better, but I've also seen quite a bit of problems too. So that being said, it's not perfect yet, but for us haulers running back-to-back heavy shipments, these fixes are kind of a huge win. That being said, 4.2.1 isn't a headline patch, but for haulers, it's a stability update, and I'm okay with that. Smoother elevators, fewer mission bugs, hopefully better network stability for cargo hauling, like transfers. I was going to record an outro for this video this morning, but servers are down. So, I mean, here we are. But that being said, if you like this video, please leave a like. Hit that notification bell if you want to know when I come out with more. I would appreciate the subscribe button. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Saxawine with SC Haulers, and we'll see you at the next haul. Love you, bye.